All right, so this is wild. Like this is kind of a bit. Honestly, it's a bit much. This guy. Sorry, the visuals terrible. So this dude basically, what's happening is, this dude has like a girlfriend who's obviously not a girl, but an AI girlfriend. This dude got convinced. He got convinced that his own mom was a Chinese spy. Okay? I mean, this is like, you know what it's like? It's like gematria. You know the gematria spurgs that add up everything? They see the number 11 here. They match it up over here. The logos for the Chicago Bulls. You know, they lose their mind. And they do that just themselves, just with any information. Like, they don't need any help, honestly, with this stuff. And now what you do is you add in something as complex as AI. Let me get this bigger here. You get this more complex with AI, and it'll feed you your narrative to a high resolution, which we've never had before. What we had before is the information was available in high resolution, and you had to go find it. So a perfect example are these gematria tards, the Zach Hubbards, the Marty Leeds. They become manic and obsessed with seeking out numbers and information that then get filtered through this, like, something big is happening here paradigm. Well, you exacerbate that mechanism with AI. And so someone like this chap, Stein Eric Solberg, killed his 83-year-old mother, Suzanne, inside their $2.7 million Connecticut mansion. Connecticut's always sketchy to me. I don't trust anybody from Connecticut. Speaking of tinfoil hats, I think Connecticut is like a project state for some weird black ops, I swear. Oh, that is a big super chat.
Holy cow! That is a big super chat!
That is a big super chat. Free sends a 50 buckaroo over. How we doing today? I'm doing good, my fellow Jortlandians. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Hope your day goes well. Thank you, Solid Snake. And Edward Longshanks, $5. No tax on tips up to $25K, including super chats. Yes, and if you want to donate and you're looking for a bigger donation, you're feeling generous today or this week, Bob Chats certainly helps a lot because YouTube doesn't steal 30% of it for no reason. So there's that as well. But thank you so much. Yeah, so this is... So he was basically in a web of insanity, right? He was finding symbols in a Chinese food recipe that he thought was demonic. The irony is that, like, you could argue that the body of knowledge that's feeding him this stuff, the pursuit of the knowledge itself, is demonic. So it's ironic that he's participating in perhaps a Gnostic, like a weird, I don't even know what to call the category at this point, but he's chasing information. And that itself could lead to basically a demonic path, because you're valuing, you're creating a sort of conceptual idol of information itself. You're trying to figure out the world. You're being fed these problems, and you're trying to connect the dots, and you can't stop. You get hooked on it. And so this is clearly kind of what's happening here with this schmo. And it does bring up a problem, something that you have to guard against with any technology. It's not like it's new that technology can be used, abused, and basically, like, presented as some sort of director, like a director. Like, a technology is our director. This is why the shift that we've never seen before, where all previous technological advancements, if you think about it, were made pragmatically to serve man, to serve what we were doing. You can use it for good, you could use it for evil. But it was always made to aid some existing path for man. And for the first time in human history, technology has reached this point where it has now the capability of convincing you what the direction is. Before, it didn't convince you of anything. It aided toward the direction you had. Anything, a tractor, a shovel, a computer. It's filling in the space that a human can't do, but we finally came to the point where it can fill in the space that a human can do, acting as some, quote, perverse spiritual father, what you should do, guiding you, how to live life. It's starting to whisper to people what the world is and how to operate in it.
Whoa, Jimbob, you wouldn't believe how much this happens in my country. Not because we have the internet and AI, but because we have the National Holy Cow Recycling Program that ne'er-do-wells take advantage of. There's a whole task force dedicated to carefully sifting through holy cow poo when there's a nearby homicide.
Thank you, Vagine. I figured that as much. So, you know, this stuff is going to get better and better at what it does, and it's one of those things where you don't realize. You wake up and you don't realize, how did we get this far? It's one of those things where you don't know the threshold. You just wake up one day and technology is now whispering in the ears of random people on a train. You know, it's almost like technologically aided schizophrenia. You know, because the delusions that those people have are based in their senses. They're hallucinations, whispers, sounds, sights, things they feel. This is straight up having an earpiece in your ear and having freaking AI, some demon chick whisper thing. Your mom's a Chinese spy. Like, this is insane. Not just that, but imagine what happens when you can hack these things, right? Imagine when you can hack these things. Imagine Tria, shout out Tria, is hacked by someone. And so these people start developing these pseudo relationships with these AI things, and they start treating it like it has personhood, and it's looking out for your best interest and whatnot. And all you need is that user to get to the point where they trust the AI bot. They've developed a trust the way they would trust a family member or your wife or your husband or anyone else. You trust this thing like you trust your priest. And you take it over. You hack it. I mean, not that you need to hack it to send these people off into wild land. I mean, this guy killed his own mom because he was convinced she was a spy. Now, what's wild to think about this particular scenario, though, in this particular scenario, what's wild to think about is what happens when this scenario happens again, similar. What happens when the AI is right about the mom? Because we're showing how wrong it can be. What happens when the AI is right, that the mom was a spy?